Hello, my name is Joe Harris, and I'm going to discuss with you some general information about Sam Johnson, along with the evaluation results that were taken in his most recent evaluation. Sam Johnson is a 9-year-old white male who is currently in the 3rd grade at Summit Academy, which is the educational services provided for Piney Ridge Treatment Facility. Sam lives currently with his grandparents, and he has so since he was about 4 years old. Prior to that, he lived with his biological parents until about 3.5, and then he was placed into foster care for 6 months. At about the age of 4, he began living with his grandparents along with his younger brother. Sam was taken out of the home and placed in foster care because of psychological and physical abuse along with neglect. There were also allegations of sexual misconduct or abuse during that time. Sam's birth, as far as grandparents know, was unremarkable, but they believe that he was exposed to illegal substances while in utero. Sam met all the developmental milestones as far as the grandparents knew, but they were not sure. But they do know he still has a history of wetting bed at time, and when he was younger he had a history of pulling out his teeth before they were loose. Sam is currently in a long-term treatment facility for children with sexual aggression. Sam's problems with education began due to social and learning issues in kindergarten, where he was held back. At that time, he was below grade level in every subject except for math. He was diagnosed with having ADHD and disruptive mood dysregulation disorder and received special education services on OHI, or other health impaired. He spends 5 days a week in a self-contained classroom currently at the treatment facility. He does receive occupational therapy and speech therapy for 30 minutes once per week, respectively. He also receives individual therapy once per week for an hour and group therapy twice a week for an hour each time, part of his treatment for his sexual problems. Sam currently is in school, and since he has been at this facility, he is improving educational. His grades have went from low D's to high C's between the first and second quarters of last semester. Sam's testing begins with the most recent STAR testing that happened about a year ago in his former school. STAR is a school-based assessment that provides a student and teachers with the ability to find out how the student is performing compared to himself as well as others his age. Sam was tested in reading literature, informational text, language, numbers operations, geometry, statistics and probability, and algebra, and it was reported in this spreadsheet format. When tested a year ago, which would have been when he was in the 2nd grade, he tested on a 1st grade level in each of the categories, which shows he's about 1 grade level behind. Sam also was administered during his last evaluation the Brigant's Comprehensive Inventory of Basic Skills. This is an evaluation that measures a student's strengths and weaknesses and his current level of performance in reading and math. Again, Sam scored about 1 to 2 grade levels below in each subject, but he does have some strengths in this category. He can write each letter of the alphabet, and he can spell his first and last name. But he has difficulty with blended sounds, vocabulary comprehension, that is understanding words, reading and writing sentences. Sam was also evaluated during this time by his occupational therapist. Sam was evaluated using a test called the BOT-2 and the developmental test of motor integration. These tests will test Sam's hand-to-eye coordination as well as fine and gross motor skills. Fine motor skills are the ones you would use picking up a pencil versus gross motor skills, which is moving around or walking or picking up stuff with both hands. First, I would like to discuss the findings from the BOT-2. There are 7 different tests within this, but he was only tested for 4 out of the 7. He was tested on fine motor precision, fine motor integration, manual dexterity, and upper limb coordination. In each of these, Sam scored below his age. He had the age equivalency, which means he could perform these functions like a child who is 5 to 6 years old, not someone his age. This allows him to qualify for occupational therapy. There's a test called the developmental test of visual motor integration, which helps test his hand-to-eye coordination. Can he manipulate items as he sees them? And this test was also given. He scored this test, again, below his age. He was scored with the age equivalency of about 5 years, 11 months in these 3 tests, which have a composite score, making him in the 12th percentile, which means that he scored the same as the bottom 12% of the people. 12 out of 100 would have scored this. Others would have scored higher. The test results for these 2 by the occupational specialist qualify him for services under occupational therapy for his special services, in which he receives 30 minutes once a week to address these issues. Sam was also administered the Woodcock-Johnson tests of achievement. This is a set of different assessments that provide an overall evaluation in reading, writing, and math. What makes this test very useful is it is scored on the same scale as a standard IQ test, where the standard score falls between 90 and 110, which equals 25th to 75th percentile, where most people will score. Sam took this test and he scored low average to low in all of the tested areas, putting him with scores between 74 and 88. These scores show Sam is well behind his peers, again, in reading, writing, and math. And these tests do kind of correlate with the other testing that has been done. These were all the tests that were in Sam's evaluation file. Sam has also been impacted by his ADHD as well as his behavioral issues and aggression that had resulted in his admission to Piney Ridge Treatment Facility. These issues are currently being addressed with medication as well as therapy. This should allow Sam to overcome those problems and be able to concentrate more on his academic, especially with his modifications and accommodations under the special education services. Sam does have some strengths when he reads, and he can identify 3 to 4 letter sight words. He can read simple stories. He likes working with technology. He has some strengths in math. He can count past 50. He can add with regrouping, and he can identify and count money. The trouble Sam has that we're going to concentrate on is with blended sounds. These are the sounds as they go together, like the. We're going to create activities to try to help him use the blends with teachers and peers, and use a sight board to help the students match sounds to pictures. And we can correct these mistakes and provide positive reinforcement when he's doing well. Sam also struggles with writing sentences. We're going to provide him with a word bank and word manipulatives to help him put together words to form as sentences. We can also test him with missing words with a word bank and help him to read sentences aloud as he does it. Sam is the same with his math. We're going to help him learn to tell time, which he cannot do. If Sam has trouble subtracting problems, which will be worked on. Sam has some other very good strengths. These strengths can be used to devise activities to help him learn in the areas of his weakness. He prefers hand-on activities, especially with technology, and he also likes putting together puzzles and working with peers. That is the summary of the diagnosis as well as the strengths and weaknesses for Sam, who is at Piney Ridge Treatment Facility attending Summit Academy. Thank you.